That heifer right there just don't even care.
Save yourself now.
Action.
Hey,
What do you say, folks?
everybody,
Let me see this here.
there's a decent little crowd.
Yeah, boy, y'all rolling on in here.
Y'all must have had a boring Sunday.
Well, I think Mr. Mike Berry going live kind of fired everybody up. So,
I thought we were going to be late because I was all caught up watching him.
it would. Hope everybody's having a fine Sunday evening, beginning to the week. The work week starts tomorrow. I'm super excited about that.
Oh, too hard.
Let's see. Other than that, like I said, hope everybody's having a fine Sunday. We having a pretty good one. Noticed several of y'all in the chat a while ago talking about our cool front coming in tomorrow. Tomorrow and Tuesday, I believe. So, who was it? Cajun, Brad. Said 92 over in Louisiana.
Oh, boy.
We're going to be right there with y'all over here in Mobile, Alabama.
We're going to have to break out the long sleeve shirts for that.
You're right. Let a nice cool down, which I will say, our temps are supposed to be in the high 60s in the morning, so thank goodness it'll be some pretty mornings, but I'll tell you what, these evenings have been a humdinger as far as heat, but
Brad said they hit 101 today.
I mean,
So it was warm here.
well, yeah, I mean, it feels hotter out there right now than it did at 3 o'clock. That sounds right, but
it's
I think
but hey,
I meant to look on the calendar because we should be getting pretty close to getting out of dog days. What was it?
That's what we look forward to the most.
July to something or another. Then you had 30 or 40 days. 30 days? Not yet. No. 20 to 30 days on that stretch of dog days. So we should be getting close to wrapping that up. And we'll all start getting a little bit of relief for some cooler temperatures for the most part. But we're on the mosey off in here.
There's a bunch.
Hey,
All right.
got a good little crowd.
We
We'll appreciate. We'll holler at everybody right fast. Let the other ones get moseyed on in. Get your sweet tea. Pull up a chair. Sit down and visit for a while. But meanwhile, Stone River, it's good to see y'all. Mr. Keith Spillman. Can't believe you, Mike. What else we got there?
Mike Taylor.
Uh-huh.
Mr. Moore.
You on the highway, Mr. Mark Miller?
That's what I was going to ask her. You got a night off.
Roy, good to see you.
And Brad. Then Greg Dunn.
All right.
Steve. Forgot about him.
Who else? Who, Mr. Steve Amos? Good to see you.
Miss Brenda.
Good to see you, y'all. Hey, I'm not going to show it yet, but
Hi, Sarah.
I'm not going to tell y'all yet. Just, we'll get there.
Oh my gosh. Roy said I'm wearing a flannel on the porch. Oh, hey, Laramore.
I ain't going to lie. That would be all right now to be sitting. I'd love to sit on the front porch and let's do a live and not sweat to death. But by the time it gets to that, it'll be getting dark at 5 o'clock here because it'll be middle of December before we get into the 60s of anything. But glad somebody's having some fine weather.
Hey, Philip, since you're driving, I'm not going to type it in the chat.
Type it in there.
She's driving. Let's see. Yeah, Mr. Mark, I had a note by your name in the prayer list about tomorrow.
Is that who you're doing?
Yeah, he said
Okay.
he's going to Houston tomorrow.
All right. Lord, Captain, we pray for the same results you got last time, some good ones. Whenever you
Absolutely.
mosey on up that place. But you wanna, well, there's still a few mosey, don't we'll wait for,
Yeah,
I was gonna
there's
say.
a lot of you still coming in.
So we just kind of go on through the prayer list because we do have some folks that we need to keep in mind, and got an email probably about 45 minutes ago from Randy at Tar Heel. Need to keep him and his family in your prayers, but we'll dive off into all that here just shortly. But if there's anybody, I guess while we talk about it, y'all, if there's anybody we need to add to or take away from, just let us know there in the
Yeah.
comments, and we'll surely do it.
DC, I'm trying to get the book open. Here, you can have
Let me
hold that
hold
a
this.
second. But yeah, Tim talked to Bob the other day. Hey, Jack and Danae.
Good to see y'all.
Yeah, we've been missing y'all.
Y'all up there in that fine country.
But what did she say? CC Texas Garden?
Who's that, DC?
Yeah.
Oh, you
Yes.
just went past.
No, I saw it. I was
What was going on in there? Y'all bear with us just 1 second. Okay, gotcha, DC. All right. Well, while you jotting that down, well, we done hollered at Jack and Danae there, a couple of us moseying on in. Miss Catherine.
Catherine. Yeah, I meant to say her and I got sidetracked. I'm sorry, Catherine. Say hi to Larry more.
Larimore.
Yeah.
Okay, good to see you there too, bro.
Yeah, Larry Moore. How did it go? He had his surgery.
He said,
Oh, this
I got
this
surgery
Tuesday. This
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Okay,
I thought I had
got
it
that up there.
down.
There we go.
I did.
Gotcha. Uh, who else was it? There's somebody else seemed like. No, it was one we took a screenshot of. Well, okay. But like I said, we'll
Yeah, I already read it.
let everybody know the new ones here in just a few. But got out there today. Miss Handy Boo wasn't feeling too well, so we didn't make it to the church house this morning. So
Jerry said his tip's dropping. It's only 93 right now.
well, hey, at least it's on the downhill.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what ours is. We're probably really close to you, Captain. But so while she was trying to get the feeling a little better this morning, I went out there and got my burn pile burned down and looked beyond the burn pile, and I seen the scattering mist that I just been kind of, as the old saying goes, you don't want to see the forest for the trees, if you will. But I'm bringing that into beekeeping. That all the frames and everything that just we have with the beetle situation. Went out there, got everything picked up in boxes, separated what we're going to clean as far as rendering the wax down, and what frames we can save. We got those set in separate boxes, and all that mess is going to be going into the little storage lean-to, if you will, probably tomorrow whenever we get done with our rat killing we got to do.
Yeah, we're setting posts. Todd said just don't say ants.
Nope, I'm not going to speak of ants and no M's.
No,
M's.
please. Please. No mites. I don't want to talk about pests at all. Mites, beetles, ants.
What did
I'm over
we
all
just
of them.
say? What did we
What?
just say?
I'm just saying
But
that
you
goes
said it.
for all of them. Everything. I'm being clear. That's why I said it.
Mhm.
No misunderstanding my meaning here.
You remember how you got on to everybody last time about not saying the N? And everybody started
It's
saying the
every-
M's. Then you say it.
You said it first. You just said I'm not going to talk about ants. I'm not going to talk about eels.
I didn't say the word.
You were entwined.
Do we need to go
That
through this again, Pete?
No, we can just move on.
Moving on.
Ooh, Steve, I ain't thought about that since I was a kid. Well, I'm sorry, Todd. I'm stepping on everybody's toes right now. Oh, thank you, Joey. That sounds like sound advice.
I'll try my best, but I don't know how long I can be serious.
Oh no, Roy, you said I cleaned up my bee shop and found tools I blame my kids for taking.
That's one of them you just,
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I'm going to keep that to myself, but I'll buy them a little something that next time we get wherever. You know,
That's hilarious.
y'all just been good here lately, so I figured I'd get you a little treat of sorts.
That is hilarious. Mm.
It's funny what you
Anyway.
find when you clean up, though. That's in anything.
That's true.
I find all the pencils I can't keep up with at work. A tool, once again, that we've been looking for. They've been swearing up and down. I don't know what happened to that thing, and bam, there it is, laid up under whatever.
Steve said the kids obviously moved them from where they should be.
That's it.
Yeah.
Or then women have the tendency as well. We know where we put it. We know exactly how we set it down there. Then you come back. Then you hear, well, I put it where it belongs. Well, where does it belong so I know where to find it? And usually it's where she says it belongs. But
No. I tell you, the last place you should look is where it belongs. Because you never put it where
I know that's how I usually find it because it ain't where it belongs.
it's never. Moving on again.
What else?
Joey's gonna tell you to shut up instead of sit down this time.
Somebody put a muzzle
That's
on that
the
one.
next step in the advice.
Oh, who's that? Circle T? Good to see you.
Yeah, we haven't seen y'all in a while. Jack and Danae, what is it? The tasting is gonna be the 29th. So the 28th is like the last day the mail will run before the tasting. So it's got to be here by September 28th to be able to enter.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I don't know if that was Jack or Danae. That's why I said Jack and Danae. Because I don't know which one I'm talking to. Probably both of them.
All right, Larimore, y'all enjoy, Captain. We'll
I'm
see you in a
sure
bit.
we'll be here.
Oh, we'll be talking about something train wreck off the rails, but think, all right. I didn't get into beekeeping news this week, so y'all forgive me.
What will we ever do?
We're just the show's gonna have to go on, I guess. But, I did sit down and take a minute and try to find a beekeeping channel where we can do the shout out again to, at least if I can't do beekeeping news, I'll try to at least get a shout out going. But run across this dude's channel. I think me and this fella probably be pretty good friends. I don't know the guy, but judging by the channel, I think me and this fella can sit down and talk and have good conversation, good fellowship. But
I'm sorry, I was trying to read that name. And then
I'm gonna have to go back and since she's typing and all that, get the link to the channel real quick.
you should just be able to hit the back button.
And let's see. Get the link in here to the channel. But he's got a beekeeping portion and he's got a portion on different. You better turn that down in case it turns on or something. But the man was a 22-year Marine Corps veteran, according to the video. Once he left the Marine Corps, he got into law enforcement. And now it has turned into a beekeeping adventure for the gentleman. And I'm assuming his family, because he had a little young buck there with him. I don't know if that was son, nephew, or whatever, but he seems to be encouraging a younger one there, as far as in the beekeeping. But you put it in.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what was it? Tops.
Why would you ask me that? Tops Outdoor Adventure.
Yes, Tops Outdoor Adventures. I did watch the beekeeping videos, a couple of them, but what drew me in was whenever he was talking about his lead dispensers and so on and so forth. And
Typical.
then when he got into what his career and all that was, I was like, well, we at least got to give this fella a shout out, one of our military vets. So if you're interested, y'all go check out his channel, sub to him, help him out. Today's the first day for us to sub to him. So, but looking through his video, seemed to be all right old fella there. Then what else? We were talking about honey. The unofficial, official honey tasting going on September 29th.
No.
Yeah. And
That's pretty amazing, isn't it, they say? And
what is that?
a good amount of military and or emergency response end up being beekeepers.
Yeah, there's I don't know how to really say it. I guess a common and a benefit out of it that helps relieve the stress from day to day, especially if you're still active in it, kind of thing. Most definitely a stress reliever. But we got a couple of honeys in this week.
Oh, our taste testing is on Mike Berry's birthday.
Is that a bribery attempt for his to be the winning honey? To kind of just.
That's exactly what he just said. The 29th being my birthday, would be a good gift.
Yes, sir.
Funny.
I tell you. Well, never mind. We off into the honey. I was going to say prayer list, but do your prayer list and we'll do the honey.
Yes, dear.
Can we hold that for you?
That'd be awesome.
Let me help you out there.
That'd be really sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, Mr. Martin Miller, and especially tomorrow, y'all. He just said in the chat earlier, so I guess it's okay to say that he's going back to his cancer doctor tomorrow. So y'all definitely pray for him. Ed and his wife and their whole family, the Dirt Roosters' dad, Mr. Pat, Miss Deb, Grammy Lisa, her son, 2 granddaughters, and she is traveling right now. So pray for safety and her have a good time. Bob and his family, and y'all, DC put a little bit of it in there, but he's got a lot going on right now. We really need to continue praying for them too. Tom's wife and his mother-in-law, and Tom has a knee replacement coming up. Mr. Donnie, Mike Tangway and his family, DC's parents, David Hoskins' granddaughter Emma, baby Luca, and the family that lost their little one, Philip's mentee's best friend, Deanna Wheeler, and her son Reed, Philip's mentee, Rachel Wilson, her sister Amanda, and her niece Riley, Philip's mama, his friend BJ and his wife, and then the Jennifer Brown family, Bobby's Bees and his family, Minnesota Mike and his brother, Aaron Frederick, Mr. Larry and Miss Sherry Gandy, and Mr. Larry's mama, Keith Larimore, and he just said he's having surgery this week. So y'all please remember him and all that. Hillbilly Earl, the Paris family, Sandy with Icy Mountain Honey, one of her family members, Bruce with his bees, his granddaughter Unsong, Steve Amos's brother, still thanking the Lord for Danae's grandma's results,
Jesus, man.
Spanky, Israel and all those affected by the war, Jags Farms' wife, Sean Balturse's wife, Mr. Ron, Blaine's bee yard owner, PJ Hanley, Stafford Mike, Shabu, Ricky Rourke, 29 Homestead, our family, Bob's son that was in the wreck, Grammy Lisa's friend Lime, Catherine's son and her family, Sarah and her family, Russell Amon's wife, Miss Brenda, that she still needs prayer, but he said she's starting to do a little bit better. The Leonard family, and then today got added Randy, Tar Heel beekeeper. His mother-in-law, they think had a stroke, but she really needed prayer. So we added her, and then DC just added CC's Texas Guard. So, if there's anybody I missed, yeah, I said this already.
Let's see who that moving. There's a couple of
Ed
moving.
came in. Hey, Carl and Haley.
Good to see you,
Miss y'all
everybody.
coming in.
We're gonna be a fine evening this evening.
Hey, James.
What else you got there?
I'm just trying to catch up. I was reading for a long time. I missed a lot of the chat.
No. Where was we at prior to? Honey.
Honey,
Honey,
that's
honey,
it.
honey. An official tasting. Okay, we got all that.
Oh, no, Steve. Yeah, absolutely advertise. That's my mother. DC. He said, was Galloway in a crawl space in your life? Who is that?
Steve. That joker laid in that one spot for what? Ed, you was live for 2 hours and some change or something about that yesterday, and old Frank's just holding the camera and looked like he was comfortable as he could be. But the only thing that got me, and I think it was Mr. Dennis Barney in your chat yesterday during the live. I noticed Frank wasn't sweating, and I was like, the dude is in an attic. We wouldn't even be able to pop our head up through the access before just being drenched in sweat. And old Frank just laying up there in the North Country talking about Oh, I'm just doing a little AC work, carrying on, doing what Frank does. But
There's
Uh,
different worlds between the South and the North
I don't, yep,
as far as the climate.
I don't know. If we fuss about it. Yeah, you can have your coffee about
They're way over there.
it. I know we fuss about living down here in this heat and all, but I don't think I could live in any other
You wouldn't.
country.
You couldn't do the cold either.
No. Now, there's a bunch of places, don't get me wrong, I love to go visit and see. Them mountains up there and out in the plains and the Dakotas and Wyoming out there, places like that. Love to go see that country. But,
Mr. Mark said if he were laying in a crawl space attic here, we'd have to call the coroner. You ain't lying though.
I thought that's true. And whenever the attic vents can't even keep up because they burn up from going so much. I mean, there's some places I know of to where it's just about at least once a year you'll have to replace that attic vent.
Mm.
Even if you put a brand new one on there. That motor on that joker is gonna get hot and burn up in that thing. But
Oh my gosh. Todd has 25% humidity again.
I don't know, 25%.
I'm telling you, I would take the 112-degree actual temperature if I could swap the humidity.
Yeah.
That just really makes me jealous. To tell you the truth.
Hey, I don't blame anybody doing AC work. We work outside, and brother, there's a fellow we go to church with, and that's what he does for a living. But for the most part, he works for the school board, but still on the weekends and evenings, people call him to, hey man, my AC here at the house is messed up, and God love him, he'll strike on out and help folks. But I tell him, man, I give it to you as far as being in them attics 3 or 4, 5 hours at a time, sometimes all day long doing stuff. But
Steve said, Todd, if you spit, it evaporate before it hit the ground.
yeah, Terry.
Ed, that sucks. He lost a hive to wax mold.
I'm sorry, Joker. Well, they hit you after you come on back home from being out there in Texas, Ed?
I found I lost a hive to wax mold.
Okay. My bad. Oh, ain't that true, DC? And old Frank laying in the showing up.
Well, he did have him aboard down.
Yeah, but you got pink insulation and yellow insulation, and just bump it. It's like hitting them little, what we call them. I don't know what you really call them, but I guess it would be like a mushroom, some kind of fungi of sorts. But as kids, some of y'all probably know what I'm talking about down here. That whenever you stepped on them, it shot out a little black powder. You know what I mean? They're kind of brown looking, and whenever you thump them, they look like a flower that's kind of closed, but it's got just a little bit of opening on it. They grow real close to the ground. But if you step on them or thump them, it shoots out spores or some kind of pollen or dust out of them, but we used to call them
Okay, Jonathan Flint says I stepped on them before. Matthew said tough balls.
There we go. All right.
Some people know what we're talking about. I probably know one if I saw it.
That was our gunpowder as kids. I ain't lying. Yeah, you find one of them, you make your own, in your imagination, making your own little bullets and stuff like that to put in your stick gun that you have.
Yeah.
Bam, bam, bam. Zone.
Oh, Todd said when I was a kid, we called them smoke bombs.
Well, before we get too derailed, because I could go on there several other things. I was thinking about the other day, talked about at the end of the chat, because how we usually derail at the very end, either on food.
I think last
Or-
week, though, we derailed at the very beginning.
Did we?
Mhm.
But what about, all right, before we get serious then, one more then.
I thought we were doing honey.
We're fixing to. What about dropping ants down into the ant line in the ground? All right, how you have the little concave spot in the sand and the dirt?
Mhm.
I was a torturous little kid. I'd throw them little ants down there and watch that ant line fling that sand up.
Yeah.
And eventually pull that ant down there in the sand and get him a good snack. I would.
God.
Why do you think I asked the optometrist lady about burning ants with the magnifying glass? Mm-hmm. All right, anyway, enough of my antics and carrying on with childhood memories. Boy, I had some good ones.
Torturous.
We got some honey in the mail for the tasting. Mr. Russell Amon's come in, and Joey Rawls from Rawls Apiaries over there.
Mr. Mike said I still feed the ant lines to him. And Steve is calling you out. You said the A word like 40 times.
Oh, I did, didn't I?
Oh, you did.
My bad, Todd. I did not mean to.
Steve called you out.
I mean, I'm just saying
yeah,
towards
you owe
Todd.
Todd an apology.
I do.
And you just got mad at me for saying
That's what
two
I'm
words.
saying, so I can get myself right with the people.
Mm,
I jumped on you at the beginning.
yeah.
Anyway, let's move on, people. We don't need to go back to the
Real quick, let's move on.
All right, one more of these. What about taking the pine straw, spitting on the ground, wallering it in your spit in the dirt, then you dropped it down the little hole,
And catch the fishing line.
the fishing one,
Mhm.
or it looked like predator to us is what that thing looked like as kids. But you waited for that piece of pine straw, got moseying on up,
Mhm.
got him.
I've caught lots of worms that way.
Okay, moving on. But got the honey then. Oh, there ain't a sticker on this one that Russell sent us. But there's Mr. Russell. Let me put my hand behind it. No, that ain't gonna work. Turn it sideways to see. But there we go. Mr. Russell Amon got that in the mail. And where my boots in here? You put it up?
What?
The big, it's right here in front of
Oh
me.
my God. I didn't touch
He
it.
sent us one for the tasting. And God love him. He sent us some he said for us to just have. I don't know if this was a true bribe or not, because the way he put it. But
Not a bribe.
sent us a big old fine jug of it to
It's good, too.
have here at
It's
the house.
really good flavor.
Thank you, sir, on this part of it very, very much. And
I appreciate it.
the
Entry.
for the unofficial official Honey Taste second annual, let us say.
So,
I'm not done yet. Go ahead.
you're not done yet. By all means. No, I was just trying to think who all we had.
We got Sarah's Happy Hives, Keith Spillman from Half Tracks and Honeybees,
Russell and Joey.
Russell and Joey so far. Then I know there's a couple more or some more on the way. But we got Joey's in. But y'all check this out though. Russell, did you send two different kinds or both of these the same as far as the batch? I just got a quick question on that. And that'll help my brain.
DC said you're getting honey happy having fun.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
He's beyond honey happy, DC.
I am because
Oh, and DC. We got DC's entry.
yeah, DC.
Mm-hmm.
I had such a good time last year with it, cutting up with everybody, and well, once again, same song, different verse. But
yeah,
we just had a good time fellowshipping with folks, and getting the letters and bribes and things of that nature. It was just a good time. So, I tell you, well, I'm gonna show you label, Joey, but I'm gonna try. Anybody that sends us some, we're gonna cover y'all's addresses up. So if you want us to, or if you have a label, stick it on there. We'd be happy to show you the label as well. But we'll cover up your street address. But keep typing. Here's Joey's over there, Louisiana, honey, Mr. Joey Rawl. Now, flip that around. Think of it. You can see that color of that. There we go. And the reason I asked Russell is because if these are the same batches,
They look like a little different color.
all right, it's obvious that those are different colors. But Russell's right over there in Mississippi. Joey's right there in Louisiana. So far as by the way the crow flies, we all really ain't too far from each other. But okay, that was the little one. Now, what's in the jug? Those two look exactly the same. Now this one here,
That's Joey.
that's Joey's, and that there
That's Russell.
what Russell sent. So that's why I had the question on if it was two different batches or same one and just maybe being in that smaller jar. Yeah, or the bottle. I guess that could be it too. But what I think we're going to do, God love you, the ones that did like last year, like Russell did here, if you send an extra one, and we're not at all telling you to send an extra one out. We don't want anybody send a big bottle either for the honey tasting. Just, something up where you can taste your honey good enough if you want to do an entry. But if by chance, what I'm going to do this year is whatever seconds I think we're going to send home with the preacher. Because you remember how, like last year, Lee sent two, Philip sent two, I think Blaine sent two. There were several of y'all that sent two. But whatever we have two of, we're going to send home with the preacher that night. That way, he gets to continue to enjoy it, and he can just pick out, well, I want no so-and-so just this morning.
Yeah, for sure.
But
I doubt they'll complain.
oh no, he ain't going to complain. And I know his sweet wife, she ain't going to complain either as much as she enjoys eating the honey. But you put the link.
I was just say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you know, good Lee? Good to see you, bro. Or did you already tell him that you're behind?
You're way behind.
Oh, my bad.
I'm way behind.
Okay. Can't believe you, Mike. Says his will be here this week. All right.
I responded to him.
I'm just kidding.
Your like buttons. Oh, that's a good idea, Lerma.
Oh, yes. Hey, I know old Mr. Donnie, he'd be all about that.
Oh, I imagine he will. We'll just make about 8 pans of biscuits and line all them jars of honey up on that bar at the church.
That's what we do. Tell folks, say, look, y'all pick whatever you want. Whatever color you like, get after it. But in my typical fashion, waiting last minute trying to find a subject to get into, I rummaged through the Bee Journal, couldn't find nothing because I'm about pested out. Really don't know. We reached out to somebody in the distribution of honey equipment and accessories and things of that nature. So trying to get a little bit of subject inching toward that way of different equipment in the beekeeping world. And Laura willing, the gentleman, will get back with us, but I don't want to mention yet just in case.
Well, Jameson.
Yeah, it don't work out by whatever means, but trying to find something that we can do. And went to the American Bee Journal and found some stuff, but I was like, well, no, if I talk about this, there'll be somebody that tells me that it wasn't this particular critter, it was the M's that caused this. And I was like, I'm not even looking back in the old American Bee Journal. It was a 1890, so about the closest thing I come up with out of the American Bee Journal was undoubtedly back in the old timey days. And I know we've kind of highlighted this before, but there was a little worm of sorts that they dealt with back in the day. It wasn't a wax moth larva, anything like that. It was some kind of little, I think it was like the larvae of a fly, if I remember right, that used to get into the comb and kind of do the same destructive issues as, say, a hive beetle larva would or a wax moth larva. But it was a worm of some sorts. But once again, I was like, well, if I do that, then somebody will argue with me. This man had M's, and that's what caused his problems. It wasn't a worm from a fly. Granted, this was in 1897, not 1988. So, but then it hit me. I was like, well, we were yakking about honey, and we're chirping on the unofficial, official honey tasting. So I can't find anything in the Bee Journal. Let me go to the Beekeeper's Bible and see. I forgot we had this thing. Then I had that moment of, oh yeah, we won, or you won it that night. We were
That
Lee.
was like the very first giveaway we done. Yeah, it was Bob and Lee's something. Their 1 year anniversary or something.
I think it was. Yep. But
I mean, they gave away like 20 things, and it wasn't the night Bob got me, because that was just Bob. I don't think Lee was on it.
and y'all think about this. I did not have a Kodiak Farms shirt to win the contest with then either.
Oh, you sure did.
Nope. But I'm glad I got them babies now, because every time I throw that Kodiak Farms on, we
You
win
win.
something. But somebody was talking about their honey
wow.
tasting. Or what?
Mr. Lewis already got goldenrod blooming in Mississippi.
Really?
What again?
I heard that. Ours is shooting up, but
It sure is blooming.
no, not yet.
I'm sorry.
Or was it somebody in the chat talking about their honey tasted like mint, or was it Miss Stephanie at church talking about?
I think it was a mistake.
Okay. But either way, went through my mind of the honey tastes like this. What do you think it come from, as far as, I'll just talk for us down here, the tallow or privet or mimosa, all our little wildflowers and such. But thumbing around in the Beekeeper's Bible, I found a pretty interesting little table it gave on honeys, their color, and what the taste is, I believe. Yeah. So, y'all forgive me, I'm not an educated man, so most of these plants I'm going to destroy the names of them. But I got my helper here to get me through some of them.
Let's see.
But it's got the colors, the hints of the taste and what they are, and a lot of them I recognize the names from, and I'll try to mosey and I guess scan through real quick to see what we could. We don't have many people from across the pond watching us, so there really, I don't see any need in going into Ireland and Russia and China.
Mhm.
But I'll try to stay with what's here in the States and in Canada, as far as what they got in here. But there's what, one, two, about 4 pages of it. But for any of you that has had the, well, I wonder what that come off of in your brain. Maybe we can get somewhere tonight with it. But once again, if you got a Beekeeper's Bible, it starts on page 270. And imagine if you read through the book, you've been across this, but 270 to around 278, because I'm going to stretch it a little bit beyond once we get past the honeys and the color and the taste, because it speaks of cream honey, frostings, and blended honeys, several other different such. But
Alfalfa.
okay, you got your alfalfa here. Principal countries of origin. We got California, USA, Canada, British Columbia up there. All right. The color, flavor, and other notes of alfalfa. Pale white or light amber with a scent of beeswax. Pleasing mild flavor, sometimes described as minty, granulates quickly.
That mean like crystallizes.
Yep. Yeah, I guess it'll crystallize pretty quick. Anybody that's ever had any fun with alfalfa, I imagine, could say, yeah. Or, it ain't never really done it for me. But I know these really wouldn't contribute to us down here along the Gulf Coast, but apples. I bet you apple honey would be pretty good.
Really?
It's just saying worldwide, wherever orchards are grown, especially northern and central U.S. and Europe. But it's a light amber color, good flavor, it says, may have a hint of apple in scent, and apple also granulates quickly. Now, I know for sure this is going to be for us down here. Them good old blueberries.
Didn't it was Lisa got a good crop of blueberry honey this year?
I think it was Lisa talking about that. So, on your blueberry, it's got New England, Michigan, USA, Canada up there, and Northern Europe. But undoubtedly, blueberry has a light amber color, slightly fruity, more so in cranberry honey. Full, well-rounded flavor, slight buttery finish.
Ooh.
Let me see.
Like.
Hold on. Just in case. I know where you're fixing to go with that. Because me and you talk about that whenever we taste some honeys. But I don't see that particular tree. Okay. I'm going to.
Less than a mile away there.
Well, you right about that?
I wonder if that's what we have.
I don't know. We'll talk to the people about it, though. All right. Not too long, our little 1 pound, whatever ounce honey we got this year.
7.
Whenever we tasted that honey, it had a sweet, buttery aftertaste to it. And man, you talk about good.
It was really good.
But we was thinking, I wonder if this is the mimosa. Since mimosa's been blooming so much, or it bloomed so much this year around here, that if the mimosa gave it that little bit of a, I mean, you could definitely taste the buttery flavor in it, for sure. But would you talking about the blueberries and the widow woman,
I mean,
a mile and a half through the woods,
yeah, literally.
then there's a good chance that's what that.
That woman has blueberry trees. They're so old. They're not bushes. Like, they set up 8-foot step ladders in the backs of pickup trucks
I still can't
and
get up
still
there.
can't reach the tops of these.
Let's see. For the ones of you up there in North Country, Canada, what is that? Borage, starflower, pale yellow, or watery white, light flavor, are clovers. And this pretty much U.S., Canada, Europe, pale amber yellow, or white, gently flavored with the scent of flowers, often blended. So I imagine for the most part, pretty well, early on in the season, we could say, okay, we know this is clover. Because, I mean, we're flooded with it between the white clover and the crimson that we have all over the place around here. A lot of us is getting into this. I guess it depends on if they're pulling nectar off of it, but the cotton, and we got fields over across the road blooming out the other day. Big old beautiful white flowers on it. There's some pretty flowers on it stuff, but a pale amber, lightly flavored, but it don't give a hint on what the lightly flavored, I guess, would be on. Let's see.
Nate said last fall my dark honey had a cinnamon aftertaste.
Well, let's see if maybe we can get on it in a minute. Fireweed, I had to look at it. So Rose Bay or Willow Herb, as it's called, worldwide, but especially northern and western U.S., Canada. Pale amber to white, crystal clear, sweet and mild, subtle flavor with tea-like notes. I need to find that.
Mr. Morris said wild cucumbers are flowering down in the river bottom right now, where he's at.
Was it fuchsia?
Yeah.
All right, fuchsia, North and South America, Europe, especially Britain and Ireland, New Zealand. So this got a light color, very mild and insipid. I don't know. We got fuchsia. I have to look that up. That sounds familiar.
Rodney said this is my first weekend without a cutout. You don't know what to do with yourself.
You probably don't. Man, he goes 24/7. He's probably doing this in his sleep.
Yeah.
You know, cutting bees out.
Out.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Larry just talking about this, but the goldenrod.
Yeah.
North America and Europe, light to medium gold, slightly strong, almost a spicy flavor, and it says it's quick to granulate. Now I give it on a slightly strong as far as aroma on it.
Buttons don't like that one very much.
Now I like me and her, it's the opposite. She likes whenever we get a little bit of taste of goldenrod, and I like the more of the privet tallow sweetness.
We're like Lee and Miss Renee, but exactly the opposite.
Let's see, canola. I hear a lot of folks chirping about it. North America, Europe. White to light amber, clear honey that granulates quickly. There's a mild taste to it. Good source for bakery and industrial honey, often blended. So apparently that's what the bacon industry wants a little bit more on it. No.
Well, what's that? I tasted some cat honey last week and it tasted like butterscotch. Oh, that was good.
Mm-hmm.
We definitely have holly.
Yeah, the
Well,
holly.
maybe not enough for a whole crop of honey, but we have holly.
If we stuck a hive up there at your grandma's like we've been
So,
yapping about doing whenever her
Mhm.
hollies bloom. I mean, y'all seen the video earlier on in the spring of that holly tree just loaded with thousands of bees up in there and
yeah.
everything. All right. Holly all over the place pretty much. North American. Pale color, finely flavored. Ivy, we here in North America. Grayish white or yellow with delicate odor and bitter flavor, a creamy consistency, and granulates quickly.
Hmm.
Grayish white. Let's see, that's over there across the pond. All right, your maples are a maple. It don't say which maple, but we'll assume just our what we look at every year for us. Okay, the maples are blooming. Canada, northern U.S., pale yellow sometimes with a greenish tint and a mild flavor. So there's maybe the answer on some of the folks talking about, well, my honey's kind of got a little greenish tint to it.
Yeah.
You got buku maple.
And the honey's gonna look a little bit green. That's pretty well.
Mm-hmm. Sweet clover, worldwide, pale greenish yellow, slightly cinnamon flavor. Who was that talking about cinnamon? Tasting like cinnamon?
Somebody just said that.
I think it did. And that's on your sweet clover with that slightly cinnamon flavor.
I can't remember.
Your mesquite. Nate?
Illuminate.
Okay. Your mesquite, northern Mexico, southern USA, often light, but can vary from white to dark brown with a smoky scent of molasses or brown sugar. Now, I have to agree with that because, I mean, undoubtedly that's what it is, but whenever, well, Jeremy from Queen Bees, last year, whenever he sent his tasting in,
Mm-hmm.
that mesquite to me had like a molasses flavor to it. I reckon.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremy from Queen Bees.
Yeah. His was mesquite. It was a very unique flavor.
All right, sunflower.
You're hilarious, Todd.
He's starting trouble.
He said, does that book say anything about eggplant honey? That's what I'm sending in for my entry. I hope you like it too.
Yeah.
Funny guy.
I forgot about that, but that's pretty good.
You ain't getting me twice. Mm-hmm.
Well, it got me too, because I was like, I don't know about no eggplant honey now. Anyway, if you don't know about that, if you're bored, go check out last Sunday's.
Was that last week?
I think it was.
Yeah. I know it's been recently.
Todd talking about eggplant one. All right, your sunflower, North American, Central, and Southern Europe. Yellow with delicate, light flavor. Table honey, also used in the bakery trade. Now, I think ODC probably going to raise his hand for this one.
They really don't have us listed for that.
For what?
The next one.
No, they don't do that. But we know it's here. Blackberry, or the bramble, as they call it, across the pond. But they don't have it listed in the U.S. They got UK and Canada.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, we are loaded down with blackberry, or as the old folks call it, brambles around here. You can't go through the woods without getting into a patch of it.
Mm-hmm.
but light chestnut brown, butt check transparent, rather coarse flavor. I don't, I don't say it's got a coarse flavor to it. It just tastes like blackberry.
Yeah.
You can definitely tell it in ours. In DC, if anybody don't know where DC is from in there, uh, he's out there in Washington State, and what he's sent of his blackberry is pretty doggone close to, you know, the blackberry taste, if you will. Now his may have had a little bit more of a touch of the actual berry taste to it, but you could tell for sure that okay, this is blackberry. Coconut palm. This would be for mostly apparently folks down our way, central southern Florida. But the coconut palm, all it has is just a strong amber honey. It don't have anything for it to taste or nothing along those lines. The dandelion worldwide, golden yellow, strong taste and flowery scent. And apparently it's a bit grainy as well on the tape or texture.
Said my spring honey's always been very light yellow and has a sweet citrusy flavor. Which one do you think that is?
Well, where's it at?
What's your descriptions?
There was one in here that did have a citrus taste to it.
He's in New York.
Where'd you go? Or was I just reading it in the picture? I'm looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I was getting because the orange blossom. Let me show y'all. I'm going to pick it up and show y'all. That's some of the honeys showing in there. Oh, there's some of the lighter color. But where was I? Did we do dandelion?
No.
Golden yellow, strong taste and flowery scent. And apparently it's a bit grainy tasting. Then you lavender. Parts of Europe, especially France. Brian and Jim's yard. I figured you'd get that one.
This one is, Roy, it's the Beekeeper's Bible is what we're reading from.
Lavender. I imagine most definitely Flower Street Brian out there can tell you this is what he believes on it as well. But golden, flowery aroma with fine granulation to a texture resembling butter.
That's wild. Here, Matthew said, I have a lot of basswood and black locust around, so I assumed it was mainly that.
Well, it's funny he just commented on that because the next one is lime tree or the linden or basswood.
Okay.
And it says up in Canada, north central US, Europe, amber or light yellow with a greenish tint, strong, biting flavor with a slightly vanilla taste.
Oh. Huh.
And this here's your next one would be a meadow flower. And it's just wildflower, multifloral, mixed floral, such as dandelion, white, pink, and red clover, wild vetch, thyme, millet, spotted cranesbill, alfalfa, sage, etc. far as the meadow wildflower. But worldwide, especially in Europe, golden yellow, varying from light to brownish with a full flavor. Now, maybe this will help out on the citrus taste, but you got your orange blossom next. Florida, Texas, California, Arizona, New Zealand, and Asia. Medium amber to water white, sweet, distinctive fruit taste with echoes of blossom. Rosemary, color ranging from almost white to golden with reddish tones. Medium bodied with a thick texture.
And here, Brian said, Jen calls it light and floral. I get the butter.
Okay.
DC said he's had the orange honey. It just tasted like honey.
Is that what I just read? The orange? Yeah. Pardon me. Rosemary. Europe, especially Mediterranean region. Color ranging from almost white to golden with reddish tones. Medium bodied with a thick texture. Time. Mediterranean, Europe, North America, New Zealand. Bright amber, an intense aroma, and aromatic flavor.
Ed said my spring honey's a mix of satsuma and blackberry. That does sound good.
Oh, yeah, boy, I bet you that is cute.
Mm-hmm.
The time I can imagine is an intense aroma. Because we bought some just to have a little herb garden, I don't know, some years ago.
There's an
And-
aromatic flavor. Being one of them, you can taste the smell of it.
I reckon so. Hold it out here. Yes.
I don't know about that.
Tupelo. You hear folks talk about Tupelo, honey. Southeastern U.S. Light amber to medium yellow with a greenish glow. Mild, distinctive taste and very sweet. Granulates slowly on the Tupelo.
Hey, Whittemore said he got a good bit of sumac coming this year.
Sumac.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get into that after I get done with this, because just kind of get y'all's. I'm not a doctor, but just a common sense thing, I reckon. But remember that with the sumac getting honey. Avocado.
Tupelo is really good. His
Is it?
third favorite honey.
What was it? Light amber to medium yellow with a greenish glow. Wonder what it, didn't we get honey in last year that had like a greenish look to it? Or am I just trying to put things in my head?
I think
I may be. All right, avocado, California, Mexico, dark amber with strong flavor of caramelized molasses.
ooh,
Your buckwheat, be out there in Minnesota, Mike. New York up there with Matt. Ohio, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Eastern Canada. Very dark, sometimes purple brown.
Isn't that what Bob planted so much of?
Was that what he planted out there? Was the buckwheat?
DC put a very confused face with avocado honey.
Where's wheat? Buckwheat,
Caramelized molasses. Todd said it's really good.
the avocado.
Yeah.
Your buckwheat were the very dark, sometimes purple brown, strongly flavored with hints of molasses and malt. Recommended in hearty baked goods and barbecue sauces.
Oh,
Now. Barbecue sauce.
That's what DC just said. Maybe real good in barbecue.
Yes, sir. Load them ribs down before you pull them off that grill or you smoke or whatever you got them puppies on. Uh, chestnut, sweet chestnut, well, Southern Europe, dark amber, sharp and bitter, an acquired taste. It says high in minerals.
Hmm.
Eucalyptus, California, New Zealand, dark amber, distinctive, slightly caramel flavor. Yellow box gum produces pale and thin honey. Red box honey is very dense.
Matthew, well, Ed said buckwheat honey is just okay. Matthew said buckwheat honey looks like used motor oil.
Okay.
Okay. That's what I was laughing at when you were reading.
I would say some of y'all get that, but I hope everybody in this chat gets that one.
You heard. Todd said eucalyptus is not his thing.
You
Said
know,
avocado is better than eucalyptus. Well, Evermore said he gets a lot of that Tupelo honey too.
where we at? Eucalyptus. We just did that. Hawthorn, Northern and Western Europe, North America. Dark amber, rather nutty flavor. So, would that be more of a peanut, pistachio, cashew, almond,
Oh,
or whatever else?
Brian just put that link in the chat. Okay.
Oh,
That's pretty cool.
appreciate you, Brian. I thought it was the spinny wheel for doing a drawing or doing the drawing.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, where are we at? I don't know if anybody had had heather. It says Europe, especially Scandinavia, Scotland, and moors and lowland heaths in England. But we'll go on and read it since we're there. Bright dark amber reddish brown, slightly bittersweet taste and aroma of heather flowers. It sets to a jelly and has to be extracted with a press or sold as cut cone. Well, that took its thick.
Yeah.
What?
www.everythingsok.com.
All right. That's the other heather.
Mhm.
Honeydew. Pine forest honey.
Or-
Or fir. The tree. No.
Ours is probably fine.
Well, we do have. Well,
We
no.
got a good bit of fur.
Yeah, we got some fir. Honeydew, pine, forest honey, fir honey, uncultivated and forested zones of Europe, especially Greece, Turkey, and Germany, New Zealand. But dark amber, strong, rich flavor, high mineral content from the sugary secretions of aphids feeding on leaf sap collected by honeybees. That's a fine. What do we call it?
Now Evermore saying.
It'd come back to. We were talking about honeydew being. Anyway.
This is okay. Yeah, DC, I think, yeah, honeydew is what Charlie talks a lot about it.
Yeah, we get some honeydew off the little aphids, but I think they get
They get a lot
honeydew from what the lanternfly up there, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I-
Seems like that's one of his biggest flows.
I gotta ask this one, man. Okay, some of y'all part of the He-Man Woman Hater Club.
Why would you okay. Just keep moving.
All right, alfalfa.
Uh-huh.
How about that? We've had alfalfa and buckwheat in here.
Yeah, we have.
That just hit me. Sure did. Yep.
Laremore's still singing.
All right.
You know, lost your place.
I have. Now,
I thought that one was in the States too.
that's what I was thinking because I've heard,
This is not very up to date.
unless Brian, Brian Flower Street, talk about Manuka honey.
It comes from Hawaii, if I'm not sorely mistaken.
But according to the book, it says New Zealand coastal areas as far as the Manuka. Dark color, full bodied, sweet taste, rated for its antibacterial properties.
Herbaceous.
Yeah. We'll just let that one go. I'm not even going to tempt that one.
No,
That's
don't
a New
make it
Zealand
here
anyway.
anyway.
Okay. All right, then the tulip tree, tulip and the yellow poplar, eastern U.S., Florida and Georgia. We got tulip poplar over here in Alabama.
Yeah, we did. We just didn't know about it till this year.
Uh,
No, last year. We found
Last
that.
year. Very dark amber honey with a rich flavor on the tulip poplar.
It is definitely a rich flavor, but it was really, really good.
All right, let me get over here to where I was getting on some of that other stuff. Now it talks about the storage of honeys according to here, how you should. All right, we're out of that was the end of the,
That's all the honey species.
what they have in this book anyway. But the frostings is something I was going to bring up because I know a lot of you folks are talking about the cream honeys and things like that, but I don't know if anybody made. I'm going to assume this is like a frosting you would.
It's some mad honey.
Don't need none of that drooling all over itself. If anybody's fooled with frosting, it says frosting may occur in jars of naturally granulated honey. This is seen as white patches and streaks, particularly on the shoulder of the jar and on the honey surface. Frosting is caused by the creation of small spaces within the honey when liquid glucose is drawn into crystals. The spaces fill with air during crystallization. There is nothing wrong with frosted honey, although it is perhaps unsightly and may have an adverse effect on sales. But if you collected it, just ain't nothing else to have around the house to have around, kind of like you would do creamed honey for your biscuits or your toast, whatever you decide to put it on. But the next thing is where everybody's been going the last little while is with the cream honey. It says cream honey is sometimes described as whipped or spun, but these terms inaccurately imply that the honey has been processed and air added in some way to produce cream honey by the dice process. Nuclei from the form of seed crystals are introduced into liquid honey and distributed evenly. This seed is chosen carefully and consists of a honey with the finest grain available. Any large crystals in the seed will spoil the finished product. The bulk of the honey is completely liquefied by warming it to no more than 150 degrees Fahrenheit or 66 degrees Celsius. It is then cooled to room temperature as rapidly as possible. Hang on, somebody knocking on the door. What say you?
Hey, you're talking about the honey when you this is a byproduct of my whipping. some of my whipping, I get the frosted in the very top of it. You said white layer, the white layer here,
Okay.
and it's it's like a foam almost, which I mean it tastes great, especially my double berry. Oh man, I forgot how good that tasted to just now. Tasting that double berry.
Was that your blueberry and strawberry?
Yeah, blueberry and strawberry. Technically, it's actually got a little banana in it too. I had to let people know that because some people may have an allergy to bananas. But that stuff there, that's some good stuff right there. That's great for a bagel and a smear, guys. Remember that. Breakfast in the morning, better than a Pop-Tart.
Oh, I bet you that is good, that double berry stuff. I heard you talking about it last night. We was going to jump in, but we finally got some millimeter rain.
Well, this is pepper treated honey, infused honey, but was my spring collection this year. Was that color? That's blueberry and satsuma mix.
Woo-hoo.
And that goes good on biscuits. Straight pork honey. Yeah. Yeah, that's some good stuff there. And I have the same honey that crystallized that I use the same peppers in to make whipped pepper honey. So I got a good selection getting ready to head your way. Yeah.
Oh, you sending some for the tasting there?
Yeah, I have to wait to payday. I was short because of the trips to Texas and back. I had to take 2 in this last few months.
Right, so we completely understand on all ends, and especially what y'all just what you've been having to deal with the last few weeks.
Yeah, I mean I've been out of the boat, and I think that's why I ended up losing that one to the wax moth because I wasn't in them the way I should have been to keep track of that crap. And I went in today, and as it was being robbed out, I was like the numbers didn't look right when I popped the top, and then I pulled the frame, and they're all over the inside of the box, the inside of the frames. I was like, oh, you got to be kidding me, So I don't know what else was the reason. I couldn't begin to tell you. I just know that it was only one box. I had another one that's running really low too, but I think the queen's just not performing.
Well, you reckon she did because everybody's slowing down right now? She may have backed off a little bit more than some others, maybe.
Yeah. Well, that box has been going slow this year anyway. It is a 10-frame box, and it's never really gotten full. I wasn't able to get put any supers on her, so I'm thinking she's just a poor performing queen, and that it's gonna have to find. I'm gonna have to redo the stock on it. But having this chance now, I got one nuke right now that's got bees hanging all over it, so I think I need to go and get those in that. Clean that 10-frame box out and put those bees in that 10-frame box because they're just jam packed into that thing right now. But so that's where I'm at on that.
Well, besides that one, it sounds like you're rolling along pretty good.
Well, I'm still at 18. I thought I was at 19 last night. Today I found out I'm at 18. So,
That's what I was just looking to see. That long lost Texican done made it in here.
Long lost.
Yeah, where you been? Blaine with no E?
The man's been working. But
I know. But
where have you been?
I'm trying to go back, and there was some stuff I was just kind of breezing through a minute ago, but what you were showing, Ed, you was talking about like being the frosted part on that first show you showed.
Yeah, it's frosting. It's not really thick. it just a little thin layer comes up on it, and I was just thinking it was just aeration, in when I did the mixing, because it comes up not every jar gets it, but
Mm-hmm.
every time I get a few of them do. My moisture content was at 17, so it wasn't too high. So I mean, like 16. I think the moisture content was, some of it was 16.5, and the other part of it was 17. So I mean, it's not been a high moisture content, so I don't think that's the problem with it. But it tastes good. It works.
Oh,
Flower Street Farm, so Blaine's been busy looking for that.
now I know what Blaine's been doing. He's been out there with them talking bees, and they done filled his head with a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, them talking bees.
Yeah, them talking bees he's got out there in Texas.
You don't remember them two going back and forth for like weeks on end about the talking bees?
Yeah.
Well, at least they listen to him.
Yeah.
Y'all, if you're interested, I didn't know this thing had all this mess in here, but undoubtedly there's a whole bunch of recipes to cook with honey for the ones of you that enjoy your beekeeping and getting in there and rattling them pans, making a meal.
Blaine said those beans have had a lot. Those beans have had a lot to say lately.
Yeah, I've had a box of bees growl. I've had a box of bees growl at me, Hannah.
Drown.
Growl.
Okay. I thought you said drown. I was like, wait a minute.
No, I'm not talking about like it's a regular queenless roar. I'm talking about it sounds like they growled at me, and I just closely. It's okay. You guys
not today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd probably have to walk away on that one too. I've never experienced that.
You're like, I'm like, oh, what?
That's wild. You'll have to break out a camera next time.
No, you hear all that, like you saying, it's time. We'll just put the lid back on. We'll come back out here another day. Y'all calm down a little bit.
You talking about recipes? Baker bean frying called me out earlier. Mm-hmm. What happened to the cooking video, Hannah? I was like, we ain't slowed down long enough.
No, I did ask her the other day when we was in the grocery store. I said, "You gonna do that banana pudding? We need to make that video on that."
I'll be doing it in the next week. I gotta do one for and that's what, like the first weekend of September. So, but I'm gonna try to do a little one for us and Jacob this week, so we can make a video.
Even if you made a big one, it ain't gonna last.
I know. But still, we'll make a good one.
We'll get it. Well, let me read off. I know that I had this one marked just for the grillers out there.
Blaine said my wife makes a great nanner pudding.
What's this thing, man? Sticky honey ribs.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Brian, I've never made candied peppers, but the only thing I've done with the honey candied stuff was we did walnuts and pecans last year. Honey roasted candied walnuts and pecans.
Yeah, them babies were good too. Man, that stuff was good.
Blaine said you can tell how great her nanner pudding is just by looking at me.
Yeah.
Ed DC said mine are just singles, so they're just little roars.
Yeah, I saw one of his videos today. I think it was released today too. And he's got that yard looking pretty good again.
Yeah, he does.
Mm-hmm.
He puts mine to shame. I gotta go back out there right now. I saw one of my pallets starting to collapse.
Oh no.
And the pallet's collapsing, so the hives are sitting at an angle on one side. And I said, "Oh, I'm gonna have to go out there."
Under that.
Yeah, I mean, so I got to pull them off four hives off a pallet and put those 4 hives back on a new pallet.
Oh no.
So that's good. That's gonna be an undertaking.
Yeah. If Lord willing, it will give you as much fits.
I don't know about that. Them girls have been feisty out there yet today. When I was out there looking at them,
Mm-hmm.
if I didn't have a full bee suit on, I think I would have got nailed more than I did. I think I took 10 stings today.
Ooh, they were fussy.
Yeah.
Well, I reckon this, with most of it, probably just blasted turf.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's in protective mode and all that.
Oh yeah. It's strictly defensive. It wasn't. They wasn't. They thought I was taking their stuff, but ended up that with that one hive, I set it out in the sun, pulled a few frames out of it, the ones with the wax moths.
Mm.
I'm gonna let them rob it out, and then I'm gonna strip everything down and clean it. So they're actually technically getting fed. They thought I was stealing something from them.
Glad you said that. Now, when we finally go get bees to put back down here at the house, we've got the pollen sub mix and the mix for your sugar water.
Mm-hmm.
But is anybody else feeding apis this year? Or are you going into your winter feeding with apis, or are you just kind of going, or folks going back to, well, I'll just hit them with sugar water and
One my favorite thing
Yeah, I think I'm gonna use apis for spring,
Mhm.
for the springtime, to get them to brood up and to get them to nutrients in the beginning of each season.
Mm-hmm.
I think this year, right now, I'm just feeding back the honey that's in couple of those boxes.
Yeah.
So, right now they're getting their stuff back. So I probably won't have to do much. Strip off a little excess before winter, and then and have that spin that out and have it for the winter to sell. So that's what I'm looking at. And in spring, hit them with some the apis and sugar water.
Okay. What you get?
Like they said, I'm getting ready to bottle my entry in the youth bottle right now. It's on.
Game on. Oh, we got the big dogs in this year playing, people.
Everybody better watch out. Let's see, Blaine said he fed it in the spring. He didn't feed it yet after the honey flow, but that's because he needs to order some more.
Okay.
But Steve said the apis sure wouldn't hurt building the winter bee. That's a really good point.
That's where I'm going to go with it, as far as, during this dearth.
Okay, deep sea's feeding thin perk with apis.
I was just thinking, well, since we know the apis will kind of crank her up a little bit during the winter months. For us, the queen really don't shut down. She'll lay a little bit, but we did see a better turnout as far as coming into spring feeding apis in the wintertime. But I ain't heard anybody really see it in the chats, anything like that. And I thought, well, is everybody kind of just it got away from it, or are you still feeding?
It's trash talking my bear. That I'm gunning for you.
Now, going back for just a second, and maybe somebody in a plant person, a little more than I am. But here, all right, here's where I'm going with it. My mama is allergic to honey, is what she has been told. She said when she was a little girl, about 7, 8 years old, they had eaten some honey, and it just threw her into a shock-like state. So they found the doctor and finally got her to a doctor or something back in 1950, whatever it was. But the doctor told my grandma, said, don't feed her honey anymore because she's allergic to it.
I think she's just allergic to the sumac in the honey.
See, that's where, yeah, where I'm building it.
Mm.
But with all that being said, she's never tried any other honey since then. No, nothing like that. But I heard that my whole life, well, why didn't we have honey in the house? Then figuring out mom was allergic to it. So we never had honey growing up. If I ate honey, it was over at the neighbor's house or somebody else's house, that kind of thing. But now, with all that being said, I know for a fact my mama is highly, highly allergic to sumac. Now, that stuff will break her out the same way as poison ivy, poison oak would do anybody else. I mean, she can't even be around the tree whenever the wind's blowing, literally. If not, if that pollen gets on her, then it breaks her out bad. But what my theory was, I wonder if mama being allergic to sumac, has she been that way since she was a child dealing with the plant and those effects? I wonder if the honey they got as a kid when she was a child, if that honey had some sumac in it, and that's what caused her to have an allergic reaction.
Blaine said, is she allergic to all honey or just the real stuff? I don't think she ever tried eating honey again after that one time.
No, she ain't never even tasted honey since 47, probably since 1955.
Oh, sumac for honey and poison sumac are totally different species.
Okay.
Matthew said. Okay.
I got you.
That's something new.
Yeah, we have quite a bit of sumac around here, but I cut it down just in case mom ever come by or something like that. It wouldn't.
That's a good point. I mean, a good point. Westcliff Honey said, I'm going to avoid apis in the fall. I'm not sure how the extra minerals would affect the bees if they can't take regular cleansing flight.
That's a good point for the folks in North Country. Especially y'all get snowed down or in days where it's well below freezing.
Yeah.
They ain't getting out flying around.
A couple of people. Mr. Mike said, I can look at poison sumac and break out. That's how she is.
Yes, Lord.
DC said, I never heard of sumac until you all.
Now, Mr. Mike, if you ever get into it again, and we found this out doing some researching, because Mama got into it bad one time, and none of the over-the-counter stuff would help her, anything like that. But Bubba, this helped, and it cleared her up in no time. But your used coffee grounds. So if you made a pot of coffee that morning, take those coffee grounds after they cool and put those coffee grounds on that infected area of where that sumac was.
They knocked it out in just a couple of days for her.
Yep, drew it right on out of it.
Yeah. Okay, Westcliff Honey's in the mountains of Colorado. Okay, Blaine said I'm pretty sure Ian feeds Apis in the fall.
I think he does. I mean, that's where we first tried it, going fall, winter, which we do have the benefit of really not having. I mean, it gets cool. The only time our cold weather hits, I guess, is going to be between January and February. Getting
Maybe a
colder
little
and colder.
bit more, but yeah, if we're gonna go below freezing, it's pretty well gonna be. Yeah, that's true, Steve. You said, well, Ian's fall started in June.
Mm. Well, all right. So that answer, that's just in my brain on the acres. Just ain't seen folks really chirping about it much. Didn't know if it just kind of fell off, if you will. All right, Captain. You have a good one as well. We'll be hollering at you. What else was there? Something else running through my head on that. What we got? Oh, we done about to burn this one up.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
20 minutes.
I thought it was like barely 8 o'clock.
So,
I'm thinking I'm gonna have to make me another cup of coffee. It's almost 9 already.
go to 6 hours. Go ahead.
Oh no, man.
I can't do it.
The phone and showed Danae. She wants to know how her baby is.
Well, what was our record? We hold the record for the longest beekeeping chat.
Almost 7 hours.
Yeah, 6 hours.
6 hours plus.
Yeah.
Something like that.
There he is, Danae. I washed all the blankets in his bed, all the blankets in his chair, and he got a bath. So he's protested by kicking everything back in the floor
He's funny.
as soon as I pick it up. Why are you going to do that, Mr. Mike?
You're gonna call it Bob Jr., huh?
I sent you a text, too.
Yeah.
A reminder text before we went on.
T minus. He's just ignoring it. He was up there fishing. Probably done got on a good brim bed or something. And he said, I'll just worry about him later on.
Yeah.
But why are you going to start calling me Bob Jr.? That's what I want to know.
Well, he's not getting his maybe not getting a notification, and we're talking about Apis.
Yeah.
Now, we could talk about epitaphs, too, if you want to.
Well, we only tried those once.
Yeah.
The epitaph ones.
Yeah.
And the bees ate them up, I guess.
I forgot Mr. Mike doesn't use Apis, though.
I thought. No, Mr. Mike's got appy tablets. I was thinking he had.
Oh, no. He said he was calling us that because we were talking about going 6 hours.
Oh.
That was a joke, Mr. Mike. That ain't happening tonight.
We've done that. That was our very first live chat, was 6 hours.
Yeah. Our very first.
DC's talking about Apis tablets are out of its price category. If you got more than 10 hives, you're already out. It's already too much. You know, because you have to buy 2 packages of them, and then that's like, it's crazy.
No, Blaine, we're definitely not going 6 hours tonight. We got 2 jobs to do in the morning. That ain't happening.
Yeah. And that's where, thinking about that, I know I told y'all last week, right before we got off, that we go live Monday and try
That's what I said. Yeah, we'll see. I'm not going to say it.
It didn't work.
No.
I got up, I had it on my mind. I told her, I said, maybe we'll go live about 10 o'clock our time, and it won't be too hot. We'll walk out through and we'll discuss where we're going to put the bees with everybody, so on and so forth. And
then we got a phone call.
so did. And that turned into an all week phone call.
Wayne said, I'm sitting on about 64 liters of Dr. Pepper right now. It was on sale.
Yeah.
Now, Mr. Mike, okay, I thought you didn't use Apis, but he said, I'm not having the same results from Apis as everybody else is talking about.
Now,
And then there was one more.
let me think. I know they truck going down there.
But Larimore, ours were kind of the same. We got them. When did we get those tablets from Bob? In November?
Whenever he was down here with the looks, and
October, like the end of October, because it was the weekend of the fair, and that's always October. So, but they didn't. We put them on not long after we got them. So, sometime in November, and they didn't eat them things till like March or something, February, somewhere in there.
going in the spring is whenever they finally started, I guess, chewing on them.
Steve said that's a triple all-nighter in the making, boy.
Dash.
My wife thinks I only bought 4 2-liter bottles, and you bought 64.
She ain't looked in the garage yet. I ain't pull him out the back of his pickup truck.
That's right.
He's got an addiction. He said, I'm going to pick up another 12 to 24 before the sale. That's worse than me and coffee.
Don't leave them in the truck. You may have one of them smoker situations.
Yeah, exactly.
Y'all remember that? Y'all remember? I don't know if some of y'all may remember, but when old Blaine left the smoker in the truck, and he come back a while later, and it looked like the whole thing was on fire.
I forgot about that. That's been a long time ago now. That's just strange, Mr. Mike, because we could tell a bit of difference when we fed it in the spring.
Well, I mean, going into our winter bees was good the year we fed it, and most definitely going into spring, whenever she started laying up for all that.
He said the girls at the doctor's office were asking if somebody was barbecuing because I smelled so strong of smoke.
Well, the way that truck looked, I imagine so.
And he probably smelled like smoke for a week after riding in there.
Good thing you been down there in Texas. Good thing you wasn't rolling around in the border patrol behind you or something.
Now him and Philip's talking about feeding the bees Dr. Pepper to see how the honey turns out.
They drove there with the windows down too.
I could so see you doing that with the smoke in a heartbeat.
Smoke blazing out the window. Well, we did one time, and I didn't think about it. This was our first.
Steve's got it.
I just wasn't gonna say it out loud.
Yes.
Nothing smoke.
What we doing? We did the cutout on I think the hunting house. And it didn't register in my head until about halfway home, and I happened to look back in the rearview mirror. But I mean, I was smart enough to set the smoker at the back of the truck. But as we're going down the road, I started seeing little flashes, I guess, best way to explain it. And when I really paid attention, it was the smoker. But all that air driving in that smoker was burning everything, and it had it rolling out the back of the truck, but I didn't have it in the cab like some fellas did.
And you got a point, Westcliff, honey. Dr. Pepper's probably cheaper than sugar.
You think that $1 a pint? How much?
It would no for a 2.5 cup bag of sugar. It was like $3.50 the other day for a little guy, and literally he got home and he could make 1 gallon of tea out of that bag.
Yeah, that's all they had at the dollar store. Instead of having the 4-pound bags, it was the kid size, I guess you want to call it. And I told her, I was like, well, just grab it. I don't feel like stopping anywhere else. And
$3.50.
sure was. You lost y'all's mind.
Well, Walmart 25-pound bag is actually it's like what Blaine says here, $20.
Yeah. I think you get a
It's
little
under-
bit more freight buying it in bulk like that.
All right. Since we're getting close to the end and we're derailing anyway,
Yes.
here's my rub for the evening.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Dun dun dun.
Yes.
Yes,
The
it is.
anticipation is killer. All right. Hannah's daddy yesterday got a hankering for a pizza. He said, look,
Oh, no.
I enjoy these particular franchise of pizza. I'm not even
And they
going
were running a sale. Supposed
to sell my behind. It was a gimmick, is what it was.
yeah.
But, well, I ain't even going to say their name, but a big franchise pizza company. And we'll let the dominoes fall where they lay. And, okay, you get 2 pizzas, X amount of dollars, 2 toppings for the free, or what have you. All right.
It was a 2-topping pizza for $6 or something.
Okay. 2 toppings. Stay with me, people. One would assume when you think 2 toppings that's pepperoni, whether you like sausage or you like pineapples on your pizza, which I'm not a fan of, or olive, whatever your second topping will be. All right. Well, Miss Haney Boo goes to notify me on the way down to the pizza joint. This is how it was set up.
I didn't know until the end.
The pizza, one of your 2 toppings was cheese.
Mhm.
So you get cheese and pepperoni, bam, that was your 2 toppings. And I
Yeah,
was like,
we thought, cheese came on every pizza, but no. Apparently, you start with just crust and sauce and pick 2 toppings to go on top of that.
I told her, I was like, so if we make the pizza the way we talked about making it, it's going to be that much more extra and all that. And she's like, well, yeah, because it ended up being about $10, $15 more than what the sale cost was.
Well,
And I was like, never again.
yeah, they did, they said they get you coming and going.
They did. I just about made a fuss at that window, and I was like, I'm not going to do it on this one. Just hand them to. They're paid for.
Yeah,
Let me get out of here, but I won't be back.
Brian said you get 2 toppings, tomato sauce and cheese.
Yeah, that's it.
I could not believe that cheese counted as one of the 2 toppings you could pick to get the sale price. Anyway, you finished right on time, but
I did. Sure did, because we fixing to wrap her up. Other than that, I think that's about it. All I got. Went through the honeys. Had no idea on some of it. Got some clarity.
mhm.
Now, I do want to say something before you get done with this. I want to thank each and every one of everybody here who's prayed for me and my family. You know, I don't think I would have made it if it weren't for those prayers. I was ready to string some people up, but you know, I thank
There
you
was
all.
certainly a lot of people praying for y'all, Ed, for sure.
I have to go back. I'm glad you, because that reminded me of somebody else mentioning that as far as prayers and all. Commented on DC's video this morning, and I was just cutting up at him because in his videos, y'all know DC's voice, but he was saying just bees in a box, or just a box of bees is what he said. And I commented that back to him and said, Lord willing, you can get them on track before fall sets into winter. But it's on the same note as you saying, but I wanted this to be out for, our fellowship and community here, what DC was saying. But he said, oh, no time for boxes of bees. He's going to shake them and let the bees figure it out. He's kind of at the point of where he's getting everything settled in for winter. But one of his last paragraphs was gun line. Thank you two for being my friends. I so look forward to the fellowship each week. And this is where I want to get out to y'all. All of you beekeeper friends don't know how much you all mean to me. I just wanted to say thank you to the Lord and you all for him for bringing us all together. I honestly would not enjoy my beekeeping as much as I do without you all. Bless everybody, have a blessed Lord's Day. But that's why we just enjoy the fellowship part and being there for our brothers and sisters when we can.
Mm-hmm.
I know, like Ed, we talk quite a bit on the telephones, and there's several of you that we chit chat on the phone. But whether we talk on the phone, email, or through these little live chats, once again, our goal is to include the Lord and have Him first and foremost in our little beekeeping channel and chat here. The Lord's moving in many, many ways. We're glad to see the blessings that are coming out of it, and
Seeing the prayer coming, being answered.
yes. And Ed, with your testimony and all that, you're thanking folks for the prayers. It's a good feeling knowing folks is out there praying for you, brother.
God reminds me of that when I start getting wound up, with family issues. It's like, at least I know I have somebody out there besides myself praying over this. And God's got it, it lets me realize God's got it because they're praying. He knows what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So,
for sure.
But with that being said, we hope everybody has a blessed week. Hopefully everybody pretty well get their honey in wrapped up, start getting bees ready for the fall months, because it wasn't long ago we was all looking forward to spring and pulling honey and so on and so forth, and Now we're right here. It's going to be fall months and winter before we know it.
Shoot, we should start be thinking about spring again already, really.
Well, yeah. Start preparing early. Get your bees ready. Get them strong. That way, whenever spring does get here, start cutting loose some splits and throwing them supers on.
And I hope it's a better year starting this spring.
It will be, because we're going to shut the door on a lot of stuff we've been doing. But, yeah, we appreciate you watching. Yeah, thank you for coming in. Our channel members, everybody. We appreciate y'all very, very much. And God bless you, Lord willing. We'll see y'all on the next one.
Y'all have a good week.
Yes, for sure. Y'all take care.
Take care and
All right.
See y'all later.
All right.
bye.